In this video, we will be calculating the combined mandatory tax deductions. Yolanda earns a gross pay of $62,300 per year. If Yolanda is paid once a month, what is her monthly net pay on each paycheck? In order to calculate net pay, the mandatory deductions of EI, CPP, and income tax need to be deducted from the gross pay. The EI contribution will be calculated first. To calculate EI contribution, multiply 1.88% by the gross pay. Convert the percentage to a decimal by dividing by 100. The gross pay in this problem is $62,300. When you multiply 0.0188 by $62,300, you are left with an answer of $1,171.24. This is above the maximum contribution, so Yolanda will pay $913.68. The CPP contribution will be calculated next. The first step is to subtract the exemption from the gross income. The gross income is $62,300 and the exemption is $3,500. When you subtract this amount from the gross income, you are left with a CPP income of $58,800. To calculate the CPP, you must multiply the CPP income calculated by 4.95%. Divide the percentage by 100 to convert it to a decimal. The CPP income was calculated to be $58,800. When you multiply 0.0495 by $58,800, you are left with $2,910.60. This is above the maximum contribution, so Yolanda will pay $2,425.50. Next, you must calculate income tax. Yolanda's income falls into the second tax bracket. Yolanda's gross pay should be split according to the tax brackets. The first tax bracket is $43,561, and the second tax bracket amount will need to be calculated. To calculate second tax bracket earnings, subtract the maximum first bracket tax, $43,561, from the gross pay of $62,300. The resulting second tax bracket earnings are $18,739. To calculate income tax, add together the first bracket tax and the second bracket tax. To calculate the first bracket tax, multiply the first bracket tax rate by the first bracket pay. To calculate the second bracket tax, multiply the second bracket tax rate by the second bracket pay. The first bracket tax rate is 25% and the first bracket pay is $43,561. The second bracket tax rate is 32% and the second bracket pay is $18,739. Divide the percentages by 100 to convert them to decimal. When you perform these calculations, the first bracket tax amounts to $10,890.25, and the second bracket tax amounts to $5,996.48. When you add these two amounts together, the result is $16,886.73. Therefore, Yolanda will pay $16,886.73 in income tax. The next step is to calculate the annual net pay. Subtract the mandatory deductions from her annual gross pay to get her annual net pay. To calculate the net pay, take the gross pay and subtract EI contribution, CPP contribution, and income tax. The gross pay is $62,300. The EI contribution was calculated to be $913.68. The CPP contribution was calculated to be $2,425.50. And the income tax payment was calculated to be $16,886.73. When you subtract these amounts from the gross pay, you are left with a total of $42,074.09. Now the monthly net income can be calculated. To calculate the monthly net income, divide the yearly net income by 12. The yearly net income was calculated to be $42,074.09. When this amount is divided by 12, a total of $3,506.17 is left. Therefore, Yolanda's monthly net pay is $3,506.17.